folks, Friday Night Blitz Media Days. We're on the scene as we're getting you ready for the 2023 season, and we're shining the spotlight on the Bobcats from Radford High School. And joining me right now in his third year as head coach of the Bobcats, Michael Crist. And Coach Crist, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us. Excited to be here.
Well, obviously in your third year, but when you started again, we had to talk about COVID, hit it. So do you feel like right now you're in your third year, it's kind of getting back to normal? Because your first couple years, you obviously had to deal with COVID stuff.
Sure. I do think it's getting back to normal. I think if you look back over the last, I guess, 3 seasons, you feel like now we're kind of back to where we were pre-COVID in terms of just how you do things and not all the extra regulations and stipulations and so forth with your procedures. So it is starting to feel like it was pre-COVID.
And then when you look at your year last year, Coach, you went 10-2, lost in the regional semifinals to Appomattox. In fact, Appomattox has ended Radford's season the last 3 years, and they've done it to Glenver the last 6 years. But when you look at this program, 5 straight playoff appearances, again, the tradition, Coach Norman Lindenberg, and you're kind of carrying that on, and Coach Saunders and others even before that time. In fact, like I said, we made a joke. I said since the 70s, there's only been 3 head coaches, so you guys like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's right.
But just talk about last year's team and then your thoughts and expectations on this year's team.
Well, I think we did have a good year, and it was an exciting year. You always want to win the last one, but that's really hard to do because we play really good people. Our region's tough, and if you're fortunate to get out of there, you're going to play good people, obviously, on top of that. So we had a great year. Certainly have some guys we have to replace from last year, but I'm optimistic. I guess probably a better word is I'm proud of kind of our off season and how the guys have worked and how they're ready to take on 2023 season, and they're excited about that. And I think our staff has worked hard to kind of figure out what we can do to make us successful. So it's been a good off season.
And I can imagine. Obviously a lot of stuff that goes into it. But who are some of the guys we should have our eyes on this year coming up off your team?
Well, certainly, it's hard once you start naming guys because I feel like we do have a lot of quality guys and certainly deserve that attention. But Landon Clark returning at quarterback and defensive back. He's been a guy who's navigating the recruiting process and garnering a lot of interest there. Of course, all-state quarterback and all-region defensive back. So he had a big year, and obviously we're excited to have him back. And then Brandon Thompson, defensive end, outside linebacker. Charlie Davis is a returning all-region linebacker. Max Knipe finished 9th in school history and receiving. So you got a lot of quality guys there that are returning out of that senior class, and they're hungry. They like playing football.
Good stuff. And then when you look at your schedule again, you don't mess around. you have a tough schedule. I'm looking at it. 7 of the 10 teams you played were in the playoffs last year. You start off with 2 home games, George Wythe, Giles, at Virginia High. Then you home to Galax, Allegheny, at Glenver, James River, at Patrick County, homes to Floyd County, and at Carroll County. When I look at that schedule, I was like, yeah, that's a tough one. And then one other thing I noticed, you don't have a bye week in there. But if you make the playoffs, obviously it's not a bad thing because the last week is that bye.
Sure. I think that's kind of the way it works. You draw as a district for when your open date comes. And, ours fell 11. You can maybe try to manipulate with some out-of-conference people. But we felt like with the schedule in place, it was best, if you're banged up at that point, it's a good thing. Certainly if you're hot, sometimes you want to keep rolling. But no different than it is if it comes week 6, week 7 of the season. You got to pick it back up when it's time to go. So it is a tough schedule. On that list, we play some talented players. There's some really good coaches. So it's certainly a schedule we respect.
One thing which is neat, and we're talking about from a recruiting standpoint, it seems like now the big schools, the Power Fives, are starting to recruit, the New River Valley and the Roanoke Valley and the Lynchburg area and South Side. The 540 and the 434 are starting to get the respect again. Obviously, you had Mr. Baylor get his thing going over Virginia Tech, and Landry's probably getting a lot of looks. But just how neat is it to see now that, hey, there is talent that's being recruited in our area and is finally getting the recognition it deserves?
Well, it is exciting because there's a lot of great players. We feel fortunate, obviously, with Marcel going through that recruiting process, and then Landon Clark going through that recruiting process, and even those other guys that are getting interest it's exciting. And I think there are a lot of good players in this area. And I think just over time, maybe it's internet, maybe whatever it is, as people recruit nationwide, you'll get people from far on the East Coast or even out west that'll kind of contact you about guys. So it is exciting that the area gets respect, because certainly there's players that are deserving.
And Coach Crist, you've seen your fair share of Friday night football as a player, as a coach. But for you personally, what does Friday nights in the fall mean to you, sir?
It means a lot. It's kind of like, I don't know the right word. I don't know what I would do without it, right? I've probably have been at a Friday night football game since I was, probably 5 or 6 years old. So, I really can't imagine not being there. But, I guess I always say as you go longer in your career, maybe when I stop getting chill bumps on a Friday, and it's the whole atmosphere, right? It's the school coming together, it's the community coming together. When the band is playing, I get chill bumps still. So I think as much as anything, it's just important for the school, right? It's kind of that rallying point for everybody in the community.
And Coach, when you look at this, we talk about for the region. I mean, your region is pretty strong. I mean, so obviously to set up your non-district schedule and obviously get ready, I'm sure it's big. It is going to prepare you for the battles down the line.
It is, and you need to have tests, obviously, in the regular season to prepare you, for the playoffs. If you're going to be successful there, then you gotta have some tests in the regular season. So certainly, our schedule will prepare us for that part.
I tell you what, Coach, you're awesome, and we appreciate you guys making the journey up from Radford, and it's always fun to see you, sir.
Well, it's fun to see you guys. I appreciate you having us.
Good stuff. And the Radford Bobcats, guess what, folks? They're going to get their season started August the 25th as they open up at home against George Wythe. As we have Friday Night Blitz Media Days, we're getting you ready for the 2023 season.
Senior year. First and foremost, how's that feel?
It's a little scary knowing that this is your last year. You don't really know what to look forward to after after high school. Just know the shows that you have to put in a little more work. It's always scary knowing that you're losing some of your teammates from last year and a big part of the team. We lost a lot of seniors who helped us, and I think the younger guys will come in and help us more than we know, and they're just ready for it.
Talk to me. If you don't mind putting it on like this. And if you don't mind just talking a little bit, how are you looking to kind of be an extension of coach and try and get some of these young guns on the same page?
Well, this summer we've had a lot of some people come in and miss a few days, but I've just been texting them, trying to get on them, make sure they're coming back in, getting stronger, faster, make sure they're just ready to help us during the season. And coaches talk to us about it, and they want us to keep getting on the young guys, make sure they're here for us when we need them, and we can put them in when we're in trouble.
And talk to me. What does Coach mean to you?
He's helped me a lot. He helped me get my first offer from Ferrum College. He's helped me with a lot of recruiting. He's helped me understand the game more. He's came in and showed me he's helped me with my position moves, and he cares about us a lot. He cares about the team, and he's just a really big part of my high school career.
And talk to me. What does this team mean to you? You guys are pretty. Every year, whether or not it's Marcel jumping up and down, or it's Landon doing his thing, whether or not it's y'all doing y'all's thing, because I see y'all out there just as much every single summer, every single year. Excuse me. You all are always on this really great hype train, but you guys believe in each other. Is that really what Radford football is all about?
Yes, Radford is always about family. We're always beside each other. We're always there for each other. Everybody who's played Radford, most of the time has grown up in Radford and played with each other their whole life. So they're always looking out for each other, and they're always hyping each other up no matter what happens. They're always there for you. If you miss a play or miss a tackle, they're always there for you. They're going to get you back up and tell you to keep your head up, make sure you're there for the next play.
And being one of the seniors now, here we go, right? There's certain responsibility that comes with that. Mm-hmm. And, how does, Coach Crist say, hey, look, I need you to if I need you to do this thing for me, how willing are you to kind of accept that new responsibility of not just being a senior, but you're a leader on this one, right? People are looking up to you. Do you kind of take that by the horns, I guess, and say yeah, this is my job, let's get it done?
Yeah, I've kind of taken it pretty well. been trying to get the young guys to help out more, make sure they know what they're doing, make sure the juniors know what they're doing, help them out, get them the workouts. Being a leader, I've just always wanted to do it, help the team out. It's a big part of the team. You got to be able to be there for everybody when they need you.
You know, how exciting is, you know, heading into this new season, especially a lot of lessons. You guys are, like I said, like we said before, you guys are always taking those next steps. What is it going to take for you guys to get over into the next bracket where you guys need to be and you know where you want to be?
We're going to have to get everybody on the same page, have to work together and just keep going. We lost a lot of seniors who were a big help last year. We just got to get everybody back to the same page and push harder at everything they do. Make sure they know the plays, make sure they can know how to block, make sure they can make the right tackle. Just make sure you're there where you're supposed to be at all times.
You know, for you, what does it mean when you put that Bobcats jersey on, whether it's black, white, or that chutney color that you guys have? What does it mean to you when you put that jersey on?
I love it. It's my whole family went to Radford High School, except for my dad. He went to Christiansburg, but my whole family's been there. My brothers played at Radford High School, and my sisters are growing up at Radford High School. So it's just, I pretty much bleed black and gold. I've always wanted to be a Radford Bobcat. It's just like in my blood. I just love having the jersey on.
And I mean, what is it? Does it kind of mean even more to you to be able to represent on the football level and say, you know, this is my team. This isn't just my team. These are my brothers. These aren't just my brothers. These are my family members. Is that kind of how you approach this?
Yeah, everybody on that team, I love them like my own family. They've always been there for me. I've always been there for them, and I just want to always look out for them. They always know after high school, they can always reach out to me if they need anything. They can ask me for rides if they need help with something. They need a place to stay. They can always come to me.
And you know, with everything that did go on last season to get you where you guys need to be, what are some things that you are trying to personally work on in terms of your own player development on and off the field?
I think I need to work on. Last year I struggled with strength, so I know I needed to get my strength up for my team, and so I can be stronger for him inside and outside. Outside the field, I just got to work on communicating with my teammate more. Last year I didn't really talk to him a lot outside the field, but now this year I know what we need to communicate, and everybody just needs to push each other harder for the team.
And given the fact that your family has played such an integral part in just Radford, period, whether or not it's athletics or just going to school or anything like that, you know, they in the crowd, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. They yelling at you, right?
Yes, sir.
How much pride do you have? And I feel like they might have just, if not more, just as much. How much pride do you have representing your family out there? And how much pride do they have in the stands when they get to yell for you?
It's a lot. My sister last year, she took some little diamond things and stuck them on my mom's car to create my number, so everybody knows who my family is and who I am. And every time I make a play or do something good for the team, I look up straight at them to see how they're doing and make sure they're cheering, make sure they're watching the game into it. It's such a big pride. I love it.
And you know, I gotta ask you, why number 55?
There's not really a reason for 55. I was in JV. I had number 51, I think, and then I moved up to high school. And I know my good friend Max Knipe, his brother had number 55. So, and Kip Green, he wore 55 too. So I know it was a big thing to take this number on. So I went ahead and ran with it.
So it just continues this whole legacy deal of like Radford family and all that stuff. Radford family and football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess just in terms of, you know, the fact that, hey, it's about a month, some change maybe away. I'm horrible with the schedules in my brain. But, you know, what's it going to be like? You're finally going to get out there. You're finally going to, you know, put some pads on. You get to see what you guys are working with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can kind of, you know, assess from there. How exciting is that going to be?
I'm so excited. When the season ended last year, all I did was get right back into the weight room, getting ready for the season. And now that we get to put pads on and see how the team is going to be, and we get to prove ourselves again that we're not just some little team out of Radford. We're coming for everything. It's so exciting getting able to be out there on the field again with my brothers and being able to practice with them and putting on a show for them.
Mr. Davis, talk to me a little bit about senior year. Is a little bit bittersweet that you're gonna play your last last game.
It hurts. I mean, no one thought. I mean, at the beginning of freshman year, once it ended, everyone's like, "I got 3 more years. It's not gonna bother me." But it comes up to bite you. But it is bittersweetness. I mean, I'm happy. I'm here to play for the Bobcats, but it's my last year, and it's definitely gonna hurt because I mean, my family we bleed black and gold. So I mean, it definitely it's gonna sting a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, let's just go right ahead and talk about this bad boy. Talk a little bit about your family. I mean, a little bit about the necklace too.
Oh, well, my grandfather, we called him the Dragonfly guy, so everything I play, I always do it for him, and he was a big factor in our life. You go to his house, you can see left to right, I mean, you wouldn't see a wall that didn't have a dragonfly on it, so that's kind of our family's trademark. Some got tattoos, some got a little necklace, earrings, I mean, everyone has their own little piece of the dragonfly, and we all just miss him. He passed away back in 2019, and he was a big factor in Radford. He was a judge in Radford. He was a big man, and I couldn't have been here without him. So I mean, I put all my love to him. But
cool beans. You mind tucking that back out?
oh, I got you.
That's pretty cool. And talk to me a little bit about the fact that when you bleed these colors, they run very, very deep. What would it mean to you? I know this team has taken so many strides.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you guys are never in like a rebuild mode. You just reload every single year, and every single year that happens. So it's like, how wild is it that we're on this journey, and this journey, has the potential to really take you guys to another level, like you guys always do.
No, yeah. I mean, last year it was definitely. I mean, it was a dream. I mean, we had a great team. We had great receivers, great linemen. We loved the game, but it's definitely going to be a grind. I mean, I think we can definitely make the same run as we did last year, but I mean, it's going to take hard work. It's not like it's going to come easy. We had a strong senior class, so I mean, that was definitely a little pain that we lost them, but I still have faith in our younger guys and our underclassmen and my grade that we can definitely bring up and keep the same record that we kept last year and maybe even go farther.
Is it pretty wild seeing that the fact that this program just continues to grow? I mean, you've seen what the Landon Clarks were. You said, what Marcel's able to do now. He's chilling, Didn't really leave the area. But, I mean,
he went big time.
But I mean, what does it say about this program, especially under Coach Crist?
I mean, Coach Crist has done a great job. I mean, he came my sophomore year, and it was a blessing. I mean, he loves the game of football. I mean, he didn't know much about the Bobcats, but once he got here, I mean, he bleeds black and gold now. He loves it, and he cares about each player. When a college came to the school and they didn't talk to me, I told him I love them and I really would love to talk to them. He got right on the phone and called them up and he was like, "Hey, I got a player here that wants to keep talking to you." And within the day, they came back and got an interview with me and invited me to the camp. And he cares that much about the team that he'll go above and beyond and make sure you go to your dream of playing college or going to a college you want to go to.
One thing about him that I always find is really interesting. He never can say much.
I know he's very humble. He's very keep to himself. He lets the play on the field do all the talking instead of the mouth, and that's what you need a coach. You don't want a coach that talks smack as much as the players do. You want a coach that's humble and keeps you down to earth, and he does a great job. But even though he's quiet, that doesn't mean he doesn't bring energy. I mean, he'll be in the weight room throwing clipboards if you hit a PR. I mean, he gets excited, and if you see your coach excited, it brings up the energy in the whole weight room, and it gets us going.
And for you, personally, I mean, you guys actually every single time, I don't know how many games I've been to. I've been to the highest of the highs. I've been through the Dagan Williams catch over Glenver. I've been through the Marcel Baylor, Floyd game. I've seen you guys for God knows how long. This team, what do you feel about this team really making and taking that next step and saying, like, we make noise every year, but I think this year we want to make the right kind of noise that gets us to that next level. Is that kind of where you guys are at in terms of your senior class?
Of course, yeah. I mean, last year it kind of hurt us a little bit when we beat Christiansburg, and of course we were happy from that. But we kind of treated that like that was our climax of our year, and we still played good, no doubt. But we kind of peaked a little too early. So I feel like this year, if we just put in the hard work and just keep at a steady pace the whole time and not stay too high or get too low. If we just stay steady the whole time, I feel like we can definitely make it past second round. That we get knocked out usually around. But I think, I mean, if we just keep the hard work going, we can definitely get past there.
And one thing about you guys always have athletes.
Oh, yeah.
That's one thing I think Coach Crist is always about. Like, you got to fine tune everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my middle linebacker can be a running back at one point in time.
No, exactly.
You know, it's like, and you better be ready to go with it, right? But I mean, what does it say about this squad that not only do you have a coach that believes in you guys, but he believes in your ability to do whatever you all need to do to get the job done?
He loves us. I mean, there's coaches out there that just are in there for sometimes just a paycheck or just for the title of head coach, but he really cares about the program. He cares about each and every player. If you're a 5-star starter or if you're not the best player, he'll give you 100% love no matter what, and that means a lot. I mean, love is the biggest factor in any game, and if you don't have love for it, there's no point of being there. And he cares about us, and if you have a coach that cares about you and has your back 24/7, you're going to have his back and show it out on the field, and that definitely helps out a lot.
And just in terms of what it means to you to kind of wear that jersey, I know it runs very, very deep, like we talked about. And does it make this senior season for you even more special because of what your family has meant to that area, and meant to that community?
Of course, yeah. Well, my dad played middle linebacker when he was in high school, and then he coached at Radford High School, and he coached me all through rec league. I mean, I've been a Bobcat from when I was born, and but my senior year, he didn't coach me from 7th grade to my junior year. He took a step back and decided just to watch. But this year we lost some coaches, but he's coming back this year, my dad, to help coach out and help whatever he can. If it's the defense, offense, special teams, he loves coaching because he coached in college a little bit, did a little recruiting, and he's here to he's here to play, and he believes black and gold just as much as I do, and you can't ask more than that.
What's it like going to be having him on the sideline again?
It's definitely a guy on your shoulder of you mess up a play, you're messing up for your team, but you're also messing up for your dad. But I think that also gives me another level of, I guess, pushing to the next level of you want to impress college coaches and you want to get better for your team, no doubt. But if you want to push for your dad, that's just a whole nother level of encouragement. So, I mean, having your dad and especially just your family in general on your back and pushing you to be the better you, it's nothing better.
And I mean, talk to me, why the number 52?
Well, there's not much behind it. It was just I was 50 my whole life, and then my freshman year, a senior took 50, so I was like, what else do we have? And 52 popped out, and now it's just I couldn't see a number without 52, and it's weird. It's almost like a sign because anywhere I go, they'll be like, oh, you're at Chick-fil-A, you got your order number 52, or little things you look on your phone, you're like, oh, what was my percent on 52? It's just you don't realize how many times you see the number 52. So that is my trademark now, and it flows a lot better than 50. 50 and 52, I think kind of 52 sounds better.
Nice. And, what's it going to mean to you in just a couple, a few weeks? Not really a few weeks, but about a month and some change. You guys are going to be, padding it up and getting out there hitting. I mean, how exciting is that to kind of actually see what you guys have, see what you have to work with, and then be like, okay, now we know how we can kind of plan accordingly.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, right when football ended, I wrestle and I also play soccer. So right when football ended, I was on to the next sport, but I was still in the mindset of since we lost these players at running back, we lost this player at wide receiver. How are we gonna exchange and fix and get better? And I've been thinking about it since probably a few days after we lost in playoffs, and I mean it hasn't left me. I mean I think we can definitely bring some new stuff because of course we lost players, but we have young players that can bring the energy for practice, and it's right around the corner. I mean I'm ready to start hitting. It's been a little too long not being in pads because I miss the sport. It's the summer. I mean you get a few weeks of enjoyment of the summer, and then you go straight into summer workouts and summer camps, trying to go through the recruiting process. And I mean I've been ready since since summer hit.
And I mean, do you kind of? It sounds like you kind of enter this season with a little bit of maybe not necessarily chip on your shoulder, but knowledge of what you have to do to get there.
Oh no, I mean, I hope to play at the next level, but it's a process. I mean, it's another thing because I mean, of course, you have your senior year and you want to show out for your last year in Radford High School, but you also got to think coaches are going to come and recruit you, and you want to be the best you can be. So I mean, I've been doing the best I can and being at the highest level of focus, encouraging to my players and just my teammates, and just trying to push them to be the best you that you can be. And if we come with the mindset of we're the best out there and we can be strong, then there's not many things that can hold us back.
Solid.